Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Ravager Report. I am your host, Dorian, and with me tonight, as always, is the mighty Hebrew Hammer. Hebrew, how are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing awesome, thank you. And we have a very special guest with us. We are joined once again by AssassinAvenue. Assassin, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, glad you could be here. So we weren't sure if Hebrew was going to be able to make it or not. So we had asked Assassin to join us, and then Hebrew's schedule opened up, and he was able to join us as well. So you get the pleasure of having 3 participants in tonight's show. But don't worry, we're not going to go long. We're going to keep it on track, and we're going to go through a lot of stuff that just dropped today. But before we do that, I wanted to thank our new patrons. We had Dark join us earlier this week. We had Squirrel Girl join us, and we had Mizio join us. And I just wanted to say thank you guys, and thank you to the continuing patrons as well. You guys really do keep this show going. And if you'd like to join us, you can at our patron site at patreon.com/Ravager Report. We have tiers going from $2 all the way up to $20. Starting at the $2, you get the patron exclusive patron chat in the Discord. At $5, you get access to show notes. At $10, you get access to us in this patron of the week that we are doing. And then at the $20, you get roster reviews if you would like. You do get an opportunity to come on the show, as Assassin is able to do right now. And we're going to start doing a whole bunch of different things. Also this week, towards the end of the show, we are going to be giving away a $10 gift card to a patron. So congratulations to everybody that has joined up as of the start of the show. You are eligible. So before we get really into the meat of things, Assassin, what have you been up to this week?
It's been a busy week. Halloween. My 5-year-old daughter had a great time out in our local neighborhood, going around to all these houses that were done up well. She also has her first loose tooth, so that's pretty cool. And then it's been mostly work with lots of stuff going on, and then going away starting on Monday for 2 weeks over to England for work.
Oh, wow. Wow. Nice. Enjoy. England's someplace I've always wanted to go to.
Yeah, I've been a few times, and it's always fun to be there. Yeah, it's bittersweet being away from your family, but yeah.
Oh, so you're going by yourself? You're not taking your family with you?
That's not. Yeah, you don't get to go with your family for work.
Yeah. Sometimes they do, but yeah. Sorry to hear that. Well, how about in game? What have you been up to this week in game?
Let's see. So, guess on running my alliance, created an alliance charter this week. Finally, we'd had a little bit of thrash with one of our players, but we wanted to make sure we're all on the same page, and we all were. And then, been easily 30% in the Ultimate Sixes now, and got up to level 11 with the Blitz Retreats, which we'll talk about later. And then it's mostly been Defenders and Fury for me.
Nice. Very nice. Hebrew, how about you? What have you been up to this week?
So outside of game, it's been pretty simple stuff. Just schooling, trying to get through the week. Had my girlfriend in town, so that's pretty nice. And my week's been pretty average other than that. No trick-or-treating, no kids or anything like that. So nothing too exciting. As far as in game, though, I did complete, or I should say my alliance and I completed all of the trick-or-treat milestones. So that was cool. And I pulled on my Mega Orb, and I got Mordo, which was not what I wanted. So that was fun.
You mean your crystal ball or a Mega Orb?
My Mega Orb.
Oh, okay.
My crystal balls, I got. I actually did get one Sabretooth. That was my first crystal ball, and then my second crystal ball, I got someone that was a waste.
He was in crystal balls.
There was someone. Maybe it was Mystique. Maybe it was Mystique. I just remember it was someone.
I thought it was only the people that were used.
Yeah, I think it must have been Mystique then.
I don't get the crystal balls. They seem like pieces of junk to me. I just bought one just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem particularly good.
Yeah. Yeah, could have just given me a premium orb. I would have been happier.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's mostly a limited pool premium orb with slightly different little side pulls. That's about it. But anyways, yeah. So outside of that, that's pretty much it. My Mystique, I did get up to 3 stars, so that's pretty cool. I've been pulling 3 times a day on her every day, and she actually farms pretty easy so far for me. Like I've been averaging, I think, around 6 to 8 shards a day, something like that. So surprisingly well. I have a feeling my luck will run out because I'm guessing that not everyone is having that luck. um, so we'll
I mean, you get the drop rate is 25% of the shards. So
yeah.
So if you're doing 15 per day, then you're getting 2 shards per. So you should be getting 7.5 shards per day.
So
you're right on par.
So right on there, yeah.
I wish I was getting that per day.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm happy about that. I'm gonna try to get her to 5 stars. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What about you, Dorian?
Well, so out of game, the nightmare train rolled on into this week for work, where so we had our basically our disaster recovery stuff kind of went down, or access to it went down, so we had to restore services for that and for QA and everything. So we had to push the train out. It was supposed to go out yesterday, and we had hot fix that blew things up and needed more testing, and so it wound up going out today. And it was just, at least it's finally over, and so I don't have to worry about that anymore, and I can get back to doing actual development work, which will be nice.
Right.
In game, I got Miss Marvel to gear 10 and have been having an absolute blast with her in raids. And so I now have 2 viable defender teams. I run defenders with Punisher for Blitz and for Arena, and then I run the defenders with Miss Marvel in the raids, and they just do some work. They just absolutely do some work.
So let me ask real quick: and not that this is a unique prediction at all, but was my prediction on that true or no, as far as Miss Marvel versus Punisher?
I have not looked at like damage output per character.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that the
fights, like, how do you feel with it? Are you clearing everything okay?
Well, so yes, because I took her passive up to level 4, so she's assisting 80% of the time, and she's giving out assists 80% of the time. So that's definitely a huge help.
Right.
She doesn't hit as hard as I'd like. She hits maybe 9,000-10,000 at what I've got her at right now, but she's only like 4 stars. So that'll make a big difference once I get her, once I'm able to get her up higher.
Right. I'm glad that she works out pretty well. I haven't really touched her that much, so I can't say too much. I think she's tier 8 for me, so I'll have to measure that out myself too whenever I get up there.
Yeah, so she's definitely well worth the price of admission to get into your team.
What about the fun factor?
The fun factor is actually, so the fun factor is not as high as I would have liked, but and that's only because primarily you're using one ability, and that's her basic, because that her in Big and Slap, it takes a while to recharge, even
Heavy
with JJ cost. Throwing out energy, and there's no sense in throwing up the heal because it doesn't do anything but heal.
Yeah.
So you're really stuck using just the basic, but it is interesting because I noticed a UI bug when it comes to Miss Marvel, and it's with her assists. I was running Ultimate 6, and I noticed that like I would have like Kingpin and somebody next to each other, and I'd go hit Kingpin, or I'm sorry, it was Kingpin and Drax, and this was in one of the nodes that I run in Ultimate 6. So I would go hit Drax with like Daredevil. Miss Marvel would assist on his second attack, but they would look to hit Kingpin, and Kingpin would react like he was hit, but then the health would come off Drax.
Huh.
So I was able to get a recording of that, and I need to send that over to Fox next, because it's not a. I mean, it doesn't affect gameplay, but it's a little bit of an annoying bug.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
I can see that.
That's weird. They're usually so good on that stuff.
Yeah. Now I don't know if it happens at lower game speeds. I can't bring myself to play at 1x.
Yeah.
So I do know it happens at 3x, but I don't know about 1 or 2 yet. I need to check those. Other than that, we only got to tier 11. I think we were actually 200 points shy of finishing tier 11. So we were a tier and 200 points away from finishing up the Blitz for treats to get at least 1 crystal orb. But honestly, I think we did that primarily more for the gold than anything else. Even the mega orbs, I got a mega orb this morning and I posted in chat. I can't remember exactly who I pulled. Ant-Man. I think I got 50 Ant-Man. So that's not horrible. I mean, I've got him almost to 3-star, so that lowers that farm down a little bit.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like we all had some semi-productive weeks, at least.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody did have a good Halloween. I know I took advantage of people bringing in candy at work, so big man should not have done that. That's all I can say on that one. So now we're going to move into our data mine. So the data mine this week, we have a few different things, and the first thing we're going to talk about is it looks like the next maintenance update is going to be November 6th. And it looks to be around 11 a.m. Pacific time, so 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern. Oh, boy, we got a time change this week. I don't know if it goes to 3 hours or not. It might go to 3 hours, so it might be 2 p.m. It'll be 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's local time, so you shouldn't notice it in the U.S.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours off, whatever they say Pacific time.
So it'll be. We should be getting update 2.1 at that point. At least that's my suspicion on that.
Yeah, it's sort of weird how they were referring to this update without giving a date for it.
Yeah. And then
I think that's mentioned later on. I'm gonna have to check on something. Continue. Sorry, I just want to check on something. But yeah, continue.
So the next data mine that we got now. Caveat. These data mines are not 100% reliable. They are subject to change. And so take them with a huge grain of salt. If they come to pass, yay. If they don't come to pass, okay. Don't change anything or do anything based off of this. They are changing the amount of gear available from Dark Dimension. So understanding is that the Dark Dimension gear amount is going to change for Enter the Darkness and go from 800 gear for completing it to 1,320 pieces of gear. And then for Fear the Darkness, it's going to go from 2,400 pieces to 3,960. I don't know if that is not bad. That is actually an amazing jump. It's almost a 50% jump on both of those.
Yeah, over, isn't it?
8 plus, yeah, it is over. So it's 60%, around 65% then. Sorry. It's starting to get late for me already. I even took a nap today. So my question is, what are they going to do for the people that have already completed it? Is it going to be a, hey, you rushed through it, you got what you got, or are they going to backfill those pieces? What do you guys think?
I think I can actually speak to this. I can't mention any specifics, but I'm fairly positive that they are giving the difference. And these people have already been alerted, I think, that they're giving those pieces that they didn't get to them. They're sending them to them. So I'm not 100% sure, but I remember at the time there was some confusion about they should have been getting more, and I'm not sure if it's just they weren't given as much as they were originally intended to with the original number, or if they they knew that they were going to be changing the number, and then they sent him extra gear or not, which I don't think they've sent him anything yet. But I know that something like that happened for some people, and so yeah, I believe that they knew what was happening. They knew they were going to change the numbers, and they told them that more gear is coming to equal out with everyone else.
I thought that was actually for the initial 800. They didn't actually get their 800, but
maybe, like I said, maybe that was it. I had just kind of assumed, since I just saw this changing of the numbers, that I had misunderstood and that they were actually referring to this. But
either which way, I think that it's such a large amount that they aren't going to piss off their whales. So I think that they're going to. I mean, there's no other way to get this amount of orange gear, right?
Yeah. And with the fact
that
you can't keep running through it, which is a good thing, honestly, but
and plus, sorry, I was going to say, also if we think back to the first time Ant-Man event came back around, do you remember there was like a 50,000 gold discrepancy,
right,
or something with one of the completions? Everyone, not only did people write in and get the extra 50K, but they also gave a general 50K to everyone that completed it that didn't write in as well. So yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that if they were willing to do it for something as small as that in comparison to this, that they will for sure be getting those gear pieces back.
Yeah, so I think it's good. I mean, the amount of effort that we're putting into this, obviously some people have already cleared it twice. Great, good for you. Not everybody is able to do that. And I think that the amount of effort that the average person is putting in really kind of justifies this type of reward. So we'll see. Maybe people are taking longer to complete it than they were expecting too. I don't know. We'll have to see what they wind up doing overall. But I think this is a good increase for people going through that.
Out of curiosity, what are you guys on now for which node?
Go ahead.
So I just finished node 2 the other night, and I'm on to node 3. That's looking like all the fun in the world with all that healing going.
Oh yeah.
So definitely I know low tier suicide squads going in there. You'll lose all your progress.
Yep.
So I'm probably down to one squad.
Mm-hmm.
So that will take some time.
Yeah, no, that one's actually really tough, and that's the one thing I found to be consistently true in this in all of the nodes so far is take out those healers first, because they make everything.
But everyone is a healer. Every single person.
But everyone in that node 3 is a healer.
I know.
And you have that shield operative in there who's cloaking herself.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a pain in the ass, that's for sure.
Wait
till you get to Fury. Wait till you get to Fury.
Oh, I can't even. Yeah, I'm hoping to have my Fury team up by then.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm probably gonna have to wait to clear that. That's the one I'm on right now, and I'm probably gonna have to wait till I get my Fury team to clear it as well. So I feel you.
Wow.
Dorian?
So I am still on the second node. I actually killed 2 people today. Woohoo!
The bar's so low for you.
Yeah.
And so it was one of them was in the red. Like he only had one sliver of health left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down to, I want to say 8 left in that node. Both Mordos, 1 Winter Soldier, a couple of Reapers. So I was able to get rid of the healers, except for, because obviously Mordo heals himself. Now I'm saving him for last.
Right.
So yeah,
that's what I ended up having to do. I strategic mistake in not targeting Mordo at the beginning and getting him down.
Well, see, I made the strategic mistake of targeting him early on, and then I really only got 1 good squad for that, because they can do around 1 million. But the other squads that I take in there, when they die, so I had Mordo down into the red. Then I was like, sweet, I'll just go in and finish him off. And they started. Next thing I know, he's back to full health, and I'm like, okay, we're just not going to touch Mordo until the end of this.
Mine wasn't quite that bad, but yeah. And then I saw the second Mordo drop, and I said, oh.
Yep. Just not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Yep. Said I'm definitely keeping those to last.
So yeah, I'm in that boat. So, and then we also saw that it looks like there's going to be a Loki offer to buy shards. It looks like it's going to start at 25 and go all the way up to 150 shards, but we do not see there was no price point. So, Assassin, you had some theories when we were talking about this earlier, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty consistent on their pricing. Most of the time, like the lowest you've ever seen premium shards go for is 30 cents a pop. And usually they're between like 45 and 55 cents a pop. So I'd be looking at the top, the 150 shard one being probably $70 to $80.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, at 75, that's 50 cents a pop.
Yep, that's sort of par for the course.
Usually, the more you get, the cheaper they go. You should start. You do 30% at the 150, and you do 50% at the 25.
They usually don't offer a big discount. It's amazing. Like, I mean, they keep their price point pretty fixed.
Well,
sort of like Apple does, right?
Yeah, it's because the
people don't like know that if I just wait long enough, there'll be some amazing deal. You just know it's going to cost that much, and if you want to drop, then you do.
Yeah,
I know Apple's your favorite company.
So, but no, I'm not gonna feed that troll today. All right then. That one can get locked right back in the dungeon it tried to crawl out from. So that's all we had for the Datamine. We're gonna move into the news update now because
real quick, I just want to say, so I for some reason I cannot find it right now, but I could have swore I saw this. So I'm just going to say it, and if someone else can confirm it, great. If not, maybe I'm crazy, but I could have swore I saw somewhere in a Datamine, I don't remember whose, but November 6th was a Datamine date for
so thanks for joining us, Hebrew. We discussed that as our very first Datamine piece. That's when the update's coming out. That's when they're doing server maintenance.
Sounds familiar. Where did I hear that?
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joined by Hebrew tonight. Hopefully, he'll stop blitzing and start paying attention.
You know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? I actually I never blitz. I never blitz during the show, but I actually was blitzing because I'm trying to get Storm. And then my girlfriend's in town and she's asleep right now, so I'm like trying to get it all done right now. So
busted.
Yeah. But hey, I picked up on it.
I think that someone needs to edit the show.
No, we're leaving that in for the pure comic value that it provides.
I like to keep advantage.
Oh no, see, so quick sidebar. Hebrew and I like to edit in two different ways. I like more of the live organic show. He likes to cut it and remove stuff. And I noticed listening to last week's episode, there was like whole segments that were removed of talking. And I was
That's because we talk too much.
See, so since he's letting me edit this week, you guys get to enjoy this because I for one, I like podcasts that have the banter. If I want a news show, I'll go turn on something somewhere else. So
descriptive, nice.
Yeah, I like to. Hey, each their own, right? So
something somewhere else.
Yep, something somewhere else. But we want you here. So we want to do what you like. And we may wind up putting out 2 shows. No, I'm kidding. So we're going to go ahead.
I only have one commute, Dorian.
Well, but you get to pick and choose which one, right? If you want the pure descriptive, then you get Hebrew's version. If you like the live organic, you get mine.
I wouldn't say, all right, even my version, I keep in a lot of the bullshit that we talk about.
I'm just giving you a hard time, brother.
Like, so much more. And the problem is that we talk about so much stuff that is totally unrelated.
Oh, we do. Like this.
Yep.
All right. So, and then what happens is I try to get us back on track, and then you just keep talking.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You try to get us back on track, and I keep talking.
Yeah, exactly. It's a problem. We feed into each other's problems.
We do, but I've gotten a lot of feedback that the show's actually really good because we do feed off of each other so well. So,
or people just enjoy laughing at us, not with us, but at us.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. I really am. So we are going to move into the news update. So we were afraid, or at least I was afraid, that there wasn't going to be a whole lot to talk about. And then an hour before the show, we got the QA mailbag.
It's Friday night. I have to set this out before.
Yeah, I actually contacted our Fox Next contact at like 8:30 East or 8:30 Central, and was like, no dev blog update. I never got a response, and then it dropped 30 minutes later. So you're welcome. You may not be happy with this
they're
later,
saying,
but
screw that Dorian. He's I'm typing as fast as I can.
Probably.
Yeah,
They were typing
we're
so
so
fast
happy
they
you
couldn't
enjoyed
respond.
Blitz for Treats.
So
You can tell they put a lot of thought into that.
Oof, yeah. So I'm not going to read through the mailbag itself. We're just going to kind of, like we do with all dev blogs, we're just going to kind of hit the high points. So first, we're going to talk about Yondu's passive. So there was a large outcry, which I feel, we led the charge on this one. So congratulations, Hebrew.
That's true.
Where we realized that, or at least Muggin pointed out, I don't know if he got it from somewhere else, that the text had changed. So everybody got up in arms, rightfully so, in my opinion, because I was one of them, and was like, you changed it. We want our ability mats back. They said, no, we got a week of bad customer support, which we're going to discuss later. And then today in the blog, they said that you can now request a refund. So if you want to refund your Yondu passive and decide to either put it back in him or put it somewhere else, you can now do that. So just go in game, go to support, and request that the passive get refunded. Hebrew, what do you think of that? Do you think it's the right decision, or do you think they should have made us all keep them?
Oh, I mean, I think the obvious answer is, they should allow us to pick and choose. If they change something like that, especially when it's really like, it makes it very different from what the original intended ability was whenever we bought it, then yeah, we need to have the capability to pick if we want to keep it or not. I personally am going to keep it because I use them in pretty much everything, and I think that it is still useful. It's definitely not as useful, but yeah, it's just I'm going to keep it on there. But I totally understand. I mean, these things are, especially for people who aren't hitting the top 1 to 2% or whatever that tier level is, where you get 150 and above. I feel really bad for those people that invested in him,
right,
because they're in a much more scarce stance than we are whenever it comes to these resources. So yeah, they needed to do this, and I knew that they were going to. It was just a matter of time till they got their ass screwed on straight and actually did it.
Yeah, I don't know how many people did what I did. Basically, they told me no, and I just kept reopening the same ticket saying, I don't think you understand. They're like, we didn't change. They kept saying, we didn't change the ability. We just changed the text. I'm like, yeah, but I bought it based off the text because I don't know the programming of the ability.
And then you ranted at our next contact.
Hebrew can attest to this. I sent a wall of text. I mean,
yeah,
I filled up.
What the heck?
I filled up. So Discord has a 2,000 character limit. I had to cut and paste multiple times because I was over that limit.
Yeah.
And look, I think I made very valid arguments for everything. He asked my opinion. He asked my opinion. He got my opinion. The problem is,
you did, but it's just that's a lot of information to throw at it with especially the Dorian attitude thrown on top of it, sprinkled on it.
I don't know what you mean by Dorian attitude, man. What do you mean by that?
You know very well what I mean by that.
Text, I'm telling you, text has no context. You can make assumptions, but you don't know. You don't know.
Anyone that listens to you knows what that context is. Okay.
Hey,
like
I'm a nice guy.
Whenever I read,
I'm just very
whenever
passionate.
I read your text, your voice pops in my head, and I can guarantee it's reading out in my mind the same way you would say it.
Okay,
100.
here's what we're gonna do. This may be one of our patron things for a patron amount. I'll start doing mean tweets. I'll read mean tweets.
All right, yeah, we should probably do that. Yeah. All right, we're gonna work.
Which, by the way, you can follow us on Twitter at the Ravager Repo, or is it just Ravager Repo? It's just Ravager Repo. At Ravager Repo.
You almost got that down.
Almost. Yeah. It's 7 episodes in, and I'm still getting used to it.
Yep. I feel like people are just gonna think that we knew we were gonna use that as a plug, and that we just made all that up just to get to the plug of our Twitter.
I'm not that good, people. I'm just not. So after that, Assassin, did you have anything you wanted to add on the Yondu's passive?
I just submitted my ticket. I'm not sure if I'm going to pop it back on, but I want that optionality.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That's what I did. I don't know if I want to put it on Punisher's passive. I don't know if I want to put it on Miss Marvel's passive. So, because I'm more into raids than I am arena. That's just how I am. So,
yeah, I don't think it's quite as big of a deal as what it's made out to be, because like when you're going up against these high-end teams, everyone has buffs on them, so it's not like you're like almost always at hit and grab 2. At least maybe because I just suck and always going up against lots of buffs.
We need to talk about how you're picking your teams. Because the problem is that they all, like, if you go up against like the hand sentry teams, they all have the same buffs. Because here's the thing, it's a random person, a random buff, so you can wind up picking the same buff off of the 2 different people, and you don't know.
Yeah, does that stack or not? I wasn't sure.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, but pretty much like no. Actually, I can't think of any buffs that I'm trying to think of buffs that stack. I mean, I know.
Oh yeah, defense.
Defense up will stack. Will go for multiple turns. Taunt will go for multiple
heals.
turns.
Yeah, and you can get multiple heals too. So.
Oh yeah, multiple heals. Yeah, they can stack on top. Yeah.
Yep. Counter.
They can stack at the same time.
Counter will stack.
Yeah.
I mean, my bigger problem is that actually the defense up and doesn't last more than a turn. It doesn't last more than just that attack, so it's almost useless.
Yeah.
So it's like only if you get counterattacked is it worth anything.
That's very true.
So I mean that, and I'm pretty sure they changed that. At least I remember it going for multiple turns before, but maybe it was just stealing to a double turn buff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so optionality is good.
Yeah, optionality is very good. So at a minimum, request it, and if you want to put it back on there, great. But give yourself the option. Don't leave yourself hanging. Think about it. Think about it. So
you can see how much of a regression it is, right?
Yeah. So next we've got they talked about the save squad. So there was some outcry, yours truly included, on the fact that they were only going to give us, quote unquote, a limited amount of save squads, but we could purchase more. And that may have been one of my biggest walls of text, because I also sent screenshots from the other mobile game I played that this was a direct clone of to start. And I was like, look, this is how it's done. Now you can change the UI if you want, but this is how it's done. And so they came back today with this atrocity. And they now say that we're going to give you 15 and no more. And I'm just kind of like, really? So you're going to be the petulant parent now, and instead of just saying, here's your ability to create squads, we're going to give you 15 total slots, but you can't have any more than that. Because what? Because 1s and 0s take up that much space on my phone? Seriously?
I mean,
Assassin, what do you think?
Chances are they... what we're seeing throughout this entire blog is that they're up against the end of year while they don't want to be working over Christmas to New Year's, right? And they're just dumping stuff. And chances are they don't have the UI done for having like multiple tabs. And so they're just doing this as the fastest thing they could get out. And then I could just imagine the discussion. Some guy in business saying, "Oh, I think we could get people to pay for that," and the product team say, "Oh God, no, we can't," and and the product person leaking this out there, floating it out there like a balloon that gets shot down.
Yep.
Which is basically that's how I interpreted this happening, and so we get our save squads for free. Probably it will be updated. The UI will be updated upon, and they'll be able to figure out how to get more than 15. And in their UI, does very much about. So
let me stop you
So I
right there,
think
and I'm
this
going to
is
argue.
V1.
I'm going to argue with you for 1 second. They already have that UI figured out because they were going to let us purchase more.
It's unclear how many they were going to let us purchase.
Doesn't matter. They were going to let us purchase
5
more.
and let us and buy up to 15. I mean, that might have been the.
I'm actually a software engineer. If you can do 15, you can do 30.
And if you can do 30, you can do 300. If you
Exactly.
do 300, you can do 3,000. No,
Exactly.
you run into UI problems.
Not as bad as you'd think. It can be done.
I mean, having an infinite scroll list is just as bad as what we have now. And then you create all this. You have players create tons of cruft, like half-filled teams that they're kind of working on.
No, you can't create half-filled teams. So, like in Galaxy of Heroes, you can't create half-filled teams. Actually, I take that back. Yes, you can, because I do three teams, because you can go into content with only 3 players.
Want that for
but
Dark
if you
Dimension.
don't, well, wait. If you can't go into a game mode with only 3 players, then just don't let them create 3-person squads. They have to save a 5-person squad.
But you don't need a 5-person squad for Dark Dimension.
Okay, so then let them save 3. What's it matter?
You can have a 1-person squad.
It's virtual space. It's not like it's a file drawer taking up space here.
I don't know. I mean, this is much ado about nothing. They someone wanted to get them to float. Hey, can we get the people to pay for this? And it's hilarious, and it's back to how it should be. And if they're used heavily, I'm sure they will figure out how to get 30 or more and get multiple tabs and iterate on.
Well, they're going to have to, and the reason why I say
But
that
I mean,
is because
just look at the
content
next the Magneto release schedule, and we know that they're up against end of year release. They're trying to squeeze everything in super fast, and that's much more of a problem than 15 save squads.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm saving my big one for that one.
Yeah, for the save squads, for me, I mean, I really just don't have too much of an issue with 15. I assume that they're going to upgrade it probably to have more later on. I think 15 is okay for right now.
Okay,
we'll talk about assumptions later. And we are talking about Fox next. Okay.
They get a lot of shit, but I will say they still do fix some stuff. I mean, there's issues that we currently have, but I mean, they hopped on this customer service thing that was on fire today, and everyone freaked out about the save squads. They fixed them as far as it not costing money, and so yeah, I mean, you got to give them some credit.
No,
they can surprise you.
I will give them credit where credit's due. I will.
The passive thing. Okay.
I will give them credit where credit is due. However, what they did here was they pulled a Marie Antoinette and they said, "Let them eat cake." All right. So here's your piece of bread, right? And that's all you get. And they could have given us more because it's there. I promise you, it's there.
I'm sure they're up against the end of year, stuff squeezed in, and they have a wailing be wailing over Christmas. Whales be wailing over Christmas. So
here's the problem, though, right? And I really don't want to beat this dead horse, but they've said they've been working on this for what, 2 to 3 months now. This was a community request. It's something that the community has been asking for, and there is more than just whales to the community. And this is flat out this was a community request for save squads. This was more than just whales. This was free to play in Whales Alive.
No, I'm talking about the Magneto stuff. That's for whales, so that's what they need. It's like they need to have their
But you're
people
I guess
spending money, and
maybe
it's the same people doing
maybe
the
I'm not
same
making
thing.
myself clear here. They're not. They have been working on this for 2 to 3 months.
And it's probably one person working in, Mondays from 9 to 11 a.m.
There's a meme going around about that for another game I play. I'll show that one to you later. So they have one computer and they share it. And today was Kaylee's turn.
That could be how save squads are going. It's like this is probably not their top priority. They probably needed to get it out before end of year Thanksgiving, and so they got it out. They handed it off.
So the community is not their top priority. Good. All right.
Oh boy. Look, they made it free. We complained. They made it free. Give them that. I bet you, I would be willing to bet some money that we're gonna see an update at some point that will increase the amount left. I agree with you that I don't know much about programming in the slightest, but I agree with you that it seems like they should be able to put more in, but maybe it's a servers-based thing. Whenever you have that many people,
it's saved on your phone. It always saved locally.
It's
saved
maybe
locally.
they want to.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't take up any space.
Yeah,
chances are they're going to say, do people actually use 15? How many do people use? And they're going to
wait. You can't. No. No, I'm not going to allow that argument. I'm sorry. No, because this is an organic game where we constantly are getting new characters. So you can say how many people use 15. Well, I'm going to tell you everybody's going to be using 15 very shortly because the
release once that data comes in, they'll reprioritize.
You don't know that
getting. Yeah, they will. I mean, chat
stars.
I can tell you that.
I can tell you from experience
you're put in.
that how this company works. That I trusted them less to do that.
They iterate on most things, and they got 15 by taking 75 tunes and dividing by 5, right?
Yeah, so I think that it'll be fine.
Because I only use one person on one squad. You're right. I'm sorry.
Anyway, we'll see what happens with it.
That's how they came up with it, and they'll iterate from there. And we got it. I'm happy. It will make my blitz better. It will make my arena a little better and my raids a little better too.
All right. So next they started talking about Magneto, and we all know that the Magneto event is going to be released at the end of this month, and we all assume that they would at least make the characters available before then. Turns out, probably not so much. And so what they said was, don't worry if you don't get him now. He's coming back again early next year. Great, thanks. What we do know, though, is that Storm is going to be available in Mystic 2.3 when the new update drops. So we're expecting her to be available come Wednesday. And so she'll be farmable from Mystic 2.3, which should be doable by everybody. Juggernaut will be coming as well, and they've said he will be available when the update drops. We don't know if the raids and the campaign event will drop at the same time, because he will have a campaign event and there will be a new raid, like what they did with Venom. So not sure if it's going to be the Alpha Strike 3 or a different raid. Sabretooth is only premium orbs. He will not be available until the beginning of the new year for campaign events or any other way other than premium orbs. And Pyro will only be available in back-to-back blitzes. Now, I'm sure that there will be orbs that you can buy for Pyro and Juggernaut, but I doubt that we're going to see anything for Sabretooth with him being premium orbs only. And Assassin, you did a little bit of math earlier on Sabretooth. You want to let us know, to get him to 5-star using the odds of the drops, how much is it going to cost to get Sabretooth to 5-star from the premium orbs?
Okay, so let's just walk through this. There are for the 15 and 25 shard premium orbs, you get a 2.5% chance of getting Sabretooth, and then for the 50, you get the 4.3%. You work out all that, and you're getting 0.4 shards per premium. To get the 310 shards necessary to get them up to 5 stars, it'll take you 756 orbs, which will cost you 140,000 cores, otherwise known at $1.08 a pop, $3,600.
So basically, do it is what you're telling us.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it for $4,000. There you go.
Yeah, on average. Although with that many 750 orbs, you're in the large numbers realm. So
imagine going through that and having just terrible luck, like paying all that money and you're still on the low end. Man, that would be disgusting. Yeah, so I mean that's terrible.
Yeah,
Yep.
So Hebrew, what do you think of the release schedule for these characters for this new legendary?
I mean, it's terrible. I mean, I think exactly what Assassin was saying. You know, I think that this is a content dump if I've ever seen it in my life. They're just trying to get it all in before the end of the new year, and because they even said they're like, oh, we're bringing it back real quick, and you know, we're having these characters after the event. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It obviously was meant for. I think that they're just way behind schedule. And
they want to have the week between Christmas and New Year's off, and if they get it out before then, they probably get it off.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they were behind, and because they didn't want to do that, they're just dumping everything out, and they're just going to do the missing events afterwards. Because I think all of these characters were meant to be farmable, so we would be in a similar situation to what we've seen before from legendary events. So either way, it's going to be far more rare for someone to have Magneto than we saw for Fury, because with Fury we had whatever, granted it was leaked information, or not leaked information, but it was passed from the devs, I believe, to Casino. And so we had a good amount of time to farm it, even though it was a dumb farm, of course. Like, we still had a good amount of time to farm it, and people could farm it is the biggest thing. These ones, you're really, on a lot of them, you can't, and you're not going to be able to. So yeah, it's just it's pretty much, they're making it almost impossible unless you are a whale, and I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah,
Assassin,
I think this is not what they probably had intended when they sat down on at the beginning of the quarter, what it would look like, and it's just what it turns out. They needed it. You always think that the fourth quarter is just like any other quarter, but it's you get 3 or 4 less weeks per than all the other quarters of the year, so things get crammed in like this.
Which is usually why companies will shift their financial quarters around, so that instead of being year end to year end, it'll go from like March to March. That way you don't have to worry about these types of things. So like the company that I work at, we actually run April or May is like when our budgetary, we do budgets by the end of the year, but we don't do raises and things until like May, and our fiscal year starts in a different time cycle. I know that Capital Games, which does Galaxy of Heroes, their fiscal year starts in like March or April. So
I think this is because it's still a new game. I think they're trying to just cash flow themselves. Who knows if it's even profitable for them yet, right? So they need to be earning money over the Christmas holidays.
Well,
they have been earning money. I think they're up over 545 million. Is that
how much did you say?
55 million, I think it was.
Was it 55?
I think it was 55 million.
I know that Mobile in his video that he released today commented on how much they had made. But
is that how much has been spent?
I was working.
How much they made?
No, how much they made. I know I was unfortunately working, so I was only kind of partially listening at that point. So I don't remember the exact numbers that he provided in the video. 55 million. Thank you. So they've made some good chunk of change on this.
I don't know what the average is for mobile games. What is normal at this point?
In the first year, I'd have to do some research. I don't know that number off the top of my head.
Yeah, because I just genuinely don't have something to relate it to. So
that
either way, it looks like a big number.
Does it? I mean, how many? What's the size of their dev team on this game?
Well,
I heard
okay.
30, 40?
I
just
doubt
remember
it.
Casino
No
said,
way,
I
dude.
just remember
I've got.
Casino said small. He said very
Small?
small.
Yeah.
Smaller than you'd think.
Yeah, I would say there's maybe, I don't know. I would say you're probably looking closer to 10 to 12 devs at most.
Yep, that's what I was
Engineers,
thinking.
including designers and the data.
So you only need like two or three. You only need like 2 or 3 graphic designers. You only need like 2 or 3 artist designers. These models. If you notice, a lot of these models are actually the same character. They're the same wireframe. They're the same wireframe with just some different. My daughter, who's only 12 years old, can knock out pictures in a couple of hours. Right now, not this detailed, but because she stays focused, she can do it relatively quickly, and she does some really good art. Right now, it's copying what she's seeing. It's not coming up with her own design. But I would say that these character models are not taking them weeks to do.
Okay.
Right? And so if they're only releasing 2 or 3 characters a month, yeah, absolutely. You only need 2 or 3 people to handle that.
Maybe your daughter's just a genius, dude.
This is true. Don't let her hear you say that. Don't let her hear me say that. She's got a big enough ego as it is now. I love her. She's the light of my life. So, my point being is that you'd be surprised how big of a team you really need if they're depending on their skill level. I've worked in shops that have had 6 developers making $200 million a year products.
Is that including all the product managers and everything else, including the support?
So usually you'll get 1 or 2 product managers per team. Now this is I'm gonna speak a little bit to something called the agile method of development, and this is kind of where my ballywick lies in the fact that you have these teams. These teams consist of devs, QAs, and a product manager, and a BA. And sometimes the BA will also, or the PM and the BA will kind of share that same role. And then you have kind of your overarching person over your different teams. So I would say if you've got 12, let's say we'll just use nice even numbers. If you've got 12 devs, I would say roughly 4 devs per team with a BA maybe and a PM. So you're talking a 5-person team. You're looking at 3 teams and somebody sitting over top of them. So now we're up to maybe 20 people. You'd be surprised. You can do a lot with 30 to 40 total people.
Okay, and now how much do you think they get to keep of that revenue?
That's a completely different. That's a different thing. Well, Disney now owns Fox, so I don't know if Disney owns. I don't know if they're having to pay licensing fees for this anymore.
I'm sure they are. I mean,
because we're not. So here's the only pushback I have on that is that we're not seeing Fox owned, except for some of the mutants. We're not seeing any other Fox owned, because Fox owns. Does Sony own the Fantastic Four? It is Fox.
Fox.
Yeah, no Fantastic Four. No Fantastic Four content at all. But Fox owns them, but we're not seeing them. So I'm sure there's some agreements that are being made for licensing. I don't know how much they're having to pay, but that's something that we just don't know.
Yeah. I bet that. Yeah, they're probably making a profit, but they're probably not rolling in it.
Well, so they're not rolling in it because they've made some really dumb decisions.
Exactly.
Like
so
only giving us 15 squads.
I was just doing some comparisons. And first of all, one thing I like to note is that it took 4 months for it to hit 25 million. And then within the next 95 days after that, they got another 25 million. So as far as money coming in, it's ramping up quite quickly, it seems. But that being said, compared to other games that are out there on the market, apparently this is like ranked number 52 as far as revenue is concerned. So yeah, I think that they're doing okay, but they're not doing amazing. Is what I
yeah, and remember they're still only 8 months in.
Yeah, I mean, so just so for instance, 56,000 is what they're making a day. Okay, and then if you compare it to the top, you got games like Fortnite, mobile that's making 1.5 million a day. Candy Crush 1.3, Pokemon Go 500, Contest of Champions 216 a day, Star Wars is 70K a day. So yeah, it's certainly not bad. But
now, are you on App Annie?
Think Gaming.
Think Gaming. Okay, yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
So my guess is that they're probably at the low end of what they want, enough to keep it viable, but.
Well, and we definitely want that. I mean, we definitely want it to be viable. But when we see things like this, where the characters are not going to be farmable, this is a straight just give us your wallet.
I think my guess is that's probably not what they intended on September 1st or October 1st, and that's just how it's played out.
Right, because I think like the comment I had made last week. I think we're starting to see the suits running the show again. The accountants are making all the game decisions. And that did not lead us down a good path. And we're starting to see us head back down that same path.
My guess is that if Christmas wasn't here, you would see a slower rollout for Megiddo.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really just a combination of factors that are creating this, end of the year. They didn't time things right. They obviously got behind. We already know that from things that have previously happened, and they want to make money. So I think it's just a combination of all these factors that kind of coincided perfectly.
Here's my big concern.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they make money off of this.
They're going to make money off it. Let me tell you right now.
Well, I hope they don't. Anybody listening to this show, please don't buy this stuff. It's just going to encourage them to do it again.
Yeah, you got to vote with your dollar.
It's just going to encourage them to do it again.
Well, I'm going to plop down $3,600 and get my saber tooth.
There we go.
There are people that will do that.
I think what's actually happening here is
because what happens is it's a gambling metric, right? You don't realize how deep in you are until you just go, crap, did I just do that? I had a buddy of mine, we played Clash of Clans together. And he did not realize how much money he had spent trying to get his town hall up to 10 until he saw a 5-digit credit card. And he's just like, he quit. He was like, I got to stop. I cannot do this anymore. I'm addicted. This is what they prey on.
I think that Dorian is trying to actively dissuade everyone from partaking in these. So that way he can swoop in and be the only guy in town with a Magneto team.
Look, for me to be the only guy in town, we're going to need a lot more patrons.
You need a lot more patrons, right?
We are going to need a lot more patrons. There's no doubt about that. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about on this release cycle?
No, I think we're good on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. So anybody that also follows Mobile Gamer, and I encourage you to, I think Mobile Gamer is he makes some great content. He does Marvel Strike Force. He does Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I think he may do a couple of other things, but those seem to be his two primary ones right now. I saw a video from him today where he brought out a video and a website from Fox Next based off that pointed to how they do customer support, and they were using this service called was it Help Shift?
Help Shift, yeah.
And basically, what it is, it's kind of an AI service that kind of uses some machine learning and text cognitive skills to look at what you type and funnel it to the appropriate channel. And the problem with that is that in the video, they basically made feedback sound like it was low value, right? I don't think that's what they meant, but that's how it came across. And I think that the message that they sent was very bad. However, they responded to that today in the QA, because this was another thing that I also sent over to our Fox Next contact. And I was like, really? So guys, I'm not taking credit for it, but you're welcome. So what they're saying, though, is that feedback will still be heard. It's just that feedback's being pulled out of a customer support queue for customer support to respond to. That goes into a different queue for devs to look at. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm glad that they responded to this. It wasn't so much that, for me at least, doing customer support, and I know we have some people that listen to us that do customer support as well, Urbane. We know kind of how these things roll, and you have scripts and all this other stuff that you really kind of do. When you get into an AI level, you have to prioritize certain things based off of keywords and context and things of that nature. So when this lady did her video for Help Shift and was basically saying that, you know, feedback was a low value item that they just let the bot respond to, it really kind of came across in a very bad light. Guys, what do you think of that? Let me throw that out to Assassin first.
Yeah.
Yes, it does come across in a low light. I also understand how that goes. It's really hard to do customer support at scale. But yeah, they did not. Yeah, they did not. You have to be very careful about how you speak about customer support because it is people's people care very deeply about that.
Well, yeah, and Reddit's gonna Reddit.
Clearly didn't do.
Yep, that's the big story here. That's the main thing.
Hebrew, what's your thoughts on this?
So, I mean, obviously when everyone found this out, everyone freaked out. And, you know, I understand why. First of all, I want to say that I think that it was stupid. I actually agree with what they did. Even right after I saw the video, I wasn't angry at all. I was like, oh, this makes sense that they did this. I immediately recognized that low value was just poor terminology, because obviously no one wants to hear that or wants to feel like their feedback is of low value. But I think that really what they just meant was low priority, or you know, basically just, oh, okay, we'll shuffle this away and send it to the dev team, and we'll have an AI bot respond to you with a happy little message. So yeah, I think it was just more of like low priority, not low value, but they worded that poorly. That being said, I don't know why they made this video in the first place. I think that they should have just taken the service and shut up about it, because they know how closely they're being watched with every move that they do. And if anyone would have watched that video, I feel like they would have immediately had red flags going off saying like, okay, we probably should either not have this published by them, or we need to redo it or something, because the community is going to freak out, understandably so. Just because a lot of people, whenever they hear that, they're not going to think twice about it. They're just going to get mad. And that's kind of what happened here. So yeah, it really like wasn't an issue. It's just poor terminology, and for basically a needless video that they shouldn't have made.
Well, so the video wasn't for Fox Next themselves. This was for Help Shift. It was kind of a customer testimonial. They called it a case study, but it was really a testimonial of, hey, we use this service and we love it. You know? Yeah,
but they obviously agreed to do it. I'm sure what happened was that they probably got like a small discount on their service by doing this video.
And it was probably scripted out a little bit. I'm sure it was scripted out. I think that they just, whoever looked it over, just really
hit the highlights. Yeah.
I mean, whoever agreed to this, and yeah, that sounds good. Exactly. And that's clearly a critical mistake.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that right now they just need to be watching what they do far more carefully whenever it comes to things in the public eye, because they're being scrutinized right now, and for good reason. And so, yeah, this was just a kind of a careless mistake on their end, I feel like, and it blew up in their faces. So yeah, it really, I want to stress though, like, this isn't a problem. This is actually a good thing.
Yes.
So, at least in my opinion, I think it's a good thing. So
yeah, I would agree with that, because because there are things that we want customer support to respond to immediately, like, hey, I can't log into the game. Right. That is a quote unquote high value problem.
Right.
That fountains, okay, there's our fountain reference for the day, that they, you know, we don't need fountaining into the game.
So, have we mentioned Luke Cage yet?
Say what now?
Have we mentioned Luke Cage yet? For the other name drop?
I'm trying to work it. Look, I try to work those in organically. Okay, you can't just force. You cannot force Luke Cage into anything. Have you met the man? Have you seen?
Oh, but he did it.
Hey, look, you give me an opening, I'll find a way to do it. So
smooth.
Anyway,
you owe me $5, Dorian.
If you win the gift card, sure.
Okay.
So let me see. I'm looking at something here. So anyway, I am looking at the fact that this just, yeah, you got now. Great. Now I'm all combobulated. Where were we? What were we talking about?
Blitz retreats.
Are we at that now? Okay.
We were just about to move to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the customer service,
I think so.
Making the video was a bad idea. They used some very poor wording. Not that the video was bad. It's just the word choice was poor.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely want to have that bot responding to things that don't need immediate human intervention.
Yeah, exactly. Like what we saw in the little video that they had. I mean, it was like, oh, my password or something like that. I don't remember, but something along those lines. I was just like, oh, here, read this real quick. So it's just kind of like a nice little thing to have for an immediate response system. So I like that.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. So then finally they talk about Blitz retreats because they're happy we enjoyed it. But did we?
I liked it.
And will we see more special milestone events? And the answer to that is apparently yes. Yay.
Let's double down on the worst phase of the game, right?
Right. I mean, look. So wait. Hebrew, why don't you tell us why you enjoyed it? Because you hate blitzing almost as much as I do.
Yeah. I'm really sorry to my alliance. I did almost nothing.
I enjoyed it. I didn't do anything, but I enjoyed it.
I got all the rewards. It was just fountaining.
I know that there's a couple of my buddies here that are in the guild that or the alliance rather, that listen to this, and so sorry guys, I didn't do too much this time, but you guys all know how much I hate blitz. So yeah, I didn't do much and I got the rewards, so yay. But yeah, you're right, I don't like the blitz, so I wish that it was implemented in some other mode. That being said, I liked that we had an event. I want free stuff. At the end of the day, I got free stuff I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I think that there are better ways to implement it for sure, and so I hope that they kind of do that and put it on a different mode other than blitz, just because I don't like blitz. But yeah, overall, I liked the rewards we got. I definitely enjoyed the extra gold. I got the mega orb. I got a couple of those stupid crystal things. I think they could maybe make those a little better. But yeah, it was, I mean, it wasn't like what I would call fun, but it was extra stuff. So that's cool with me.
Oh, it was so annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
as a member, as a leader of an alliance, I can't be riding coattails, and I did not. But it was like pulling teeth, and it really sucks too because you can't tell how you're doing versus how you're how each member of your alliance is doing. I love these alliance events, but yeah, I mean, it was I worked darn hard for that those multiple gold orbs.
Now I will say that the gold orbs was well worth it, but I just the mega orb was okay. The crystal ball, especially for the people I saw buy it, I'm sorry, because I saw people get like 4 shard drops. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I, for one, am really tired of the it was just free stuff. Because hey, bed bugs are free. Are you gonna bed bugs are free? Are you gonna congratulate yourself for getting those too?
They're good positive things that help us progress. Bed bugs are not positive things that help us
to a minimal degree, right? So
I would not call that minimal.
Like I said, the gold. I'm not talking the gold. I'm not talking the gold. The crystal balls were joke.
I said that, I wasn't a big fan of the crystal balls. They could have improved that. But a free mega orb at the end of the day, I'm fine with that. I like mega orbs. So even if I just get Mordo.
The free mega orb and the gold the gold was okay. There was a lot of 90K, a lot of min drops on those. The mega orb was fine. The crystal ball orb was a joke.
Yeah, but I mean that's just something they had to prove on. I don't know. I just really don't have too much of an issue with the rewards. I think that it would be cool if they implemented them in a more exciting way or found something a little more exotic to give us than.
I mean, how many hours did you put into this? But... I mean, I probably put in like 5 hours into this, 6 hours into it for 700K gold.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like free stuff is not free. Unless you consider your time and your effort free. Free stuff is not free. There's as Linus once said, there is no such thing as a free beer.
No, I would call it free because it's stacked on top of stuff that we would have already done anyway.
Wait, you run those people in Blitz? You run a team like that specifically in Blitz?
On my way up, yeah. And then I'll have other. I do have a lot of them.
You had to do more than just your way up. You had to run it all the time.
Hold on. Well, I mean, first of all, I didn't do.
Okay. Well, so people that actually contributed to their alliance.
But, hold on. Let me say, in theory, though, if I would have done it, yes, I would have used a lot of those people. I would have used everyone on my way up. So twice I would have used everyone, and then also I do have a lot of those people in my top teams, or in close enough to my top teams that they're still usable in the higher tiers. So yeah, I would have used them a lot.
I didn't use them. I did not use them in those combinations. I managed to get 3 on a team that worked okay, and then it was figure out what the heck to do with Venom, who I haven't spent much time leveling, was a pain in the rear. Then it was like losing on the way down for 2 points per blitz at the end of each blitz. That's like no fun, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's one of the things I said earlier. Its implementation could definitely be better, but I don't think it was terrible. But that could just be me.
Well, I mean, you would have to actually participate to have an opinion.
I could. My opinion is based on theoretical participation.
So I actually had a team that I ran that had 4 of the 7 in it. So I ran Scarlet Witch, Mordo, Venom, Spider-Man, and Vision. And that team actually did relatively well up through tier 7. And then I ran Crossbones in another team, and then Iron Fist, obviously, with my defenders. I don't have Mystique, so I couldn't run her. So I was able to run 6 of the 7. But
I could do that across 3 teams as well. Across 4 teams because Venom's on his own piece of crap team.
Yeah, so that team that I listed that with the 4 was one I just made just for this event. It's not one of my typical Blitz teams because I found it to be highly unreliable, at least at the levels I've got them at. So
most of my alliance did not enjoy this. It was a pain. It was constantly reminding people to do it and to get their runs in, and it was, we did it. We got our rewards, but yeah, boy, it's doubling down on the worst phase of the game.
So let me ask this real quick. So. First of all, like I said, I don't enjoy Blitz, so I wish it was moved to a different mode, and I do hope that they do that because Blitz is just terrible. But I think the bigger problem also was that the milestones were just way too high,
the milestones were really high.
Or the point system was too low. You know what I mean? It
was really weird. The first milestone was higher than all the next incremental milestones.
I didn't even look at that, but
yeah, it was 2250 for the first one, and then 1300 for each additional one.
Yeah, so that's weird.
Yeah, that just seemed so it wasn't like a slow build up. It was like you have to cross this threshold and then
get the barrier of entry kind of thing. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I think that those need to be adjusted. This is their first go around with it, so we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'm glad that they did this over nothing. Because at the end of the day, we got more from this than what we would have gotten if they did nothing. And that was my point of it's free stuff. Because compared to it not being in there, yeah, we got free stuff.
It took extra hours of my time that I wouldn't have spent because I was running things I wouldn't have run. My
Yeah,
normal blitz.
but as far as getting free stuff, you're pretty much, even if it's just one milestone, most people are probably going to at least get one milestone passively. So even at the end of the day, you still got something for free. I agree that the point system needs to be tweaked for sure, because I thought the milestones were, I mean, we're a top 50 alliance, and I think just barely, I should say, just barely got that last milestone in time, I think. So yeah, I mean, if I know that compared to a lot of other people, the majority of the rest of the population, they did not come as close as we did. And so yeah, I think that after seeing this, hopefully they'll do some adjusting and make it far more achievable. So
yeah, like I'm all for like doing these alliance things and trying to do these things more passively, but like there are a lot of permutations on this that I think would have worked out better, and like trying to like force you to like combine a weird set of 17s that you had to like commit to memory, rather than being like indicated somehow in blitz mode, was annoying. And scrolling through to find that 8K Venom is probably number 50 on my list.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
but hey, that'll be solved next week when you get one of your 15 save squads.
Let's not drag that back into the arena here.
Anyways, I was happy with my 5 gold orbs and 1 mega orb.
Yeah. What did you get out of the mega orb? I'm sorry.
I got 100 Hawkeye. I don't have that 7 yet, so I didn't mind that.
Hey, that's not bad at all. I would have rather had that. So, and Dorian, did you get one? You said, I know you did actually. You said you got it this morning.
Yeah, I got 50 Ant-Man out of the mega.
Oh yeah, meh. All right.
Yeah, I mean, yay, it saved me a little bit, but otherwise,
yeah. All right. I mean, that pretty much does it for that category.
Yeah, and then on top of it was on top of a crappy blitz too. The spot, something. So I did get an Ultimate's Orb out of that, so I got 15 Black Widow shards.
That could have actually played out pretty. I mean, in favor of the system that they had at hand, though, because it's one where you don't need to go high. Like you can just play on the low tiers if you just don't care to get Spider-Man shards, and make all of these all the teams really easy to go up against, so you can win to get the points. You know what I mean? You can play in the shallow end for a while, basically.
Yeah.
Am I alone in that?
So
I strongly support you like riding coattails.
I mean, did you guys really want the Spider-Man event? Did you guys like really try hard for it?
No. Well, I don't try hard for any blitz, but
yeah, so
I get the milestones. So no, I did. Right. I will tell you that I added in more than my regular teams. I did add in specifically. I wouldn't run my regular. Once I hit the milestones, I was only running the blitz retreats teams.
Right, but yeah, let's say for Storm, right? You wouldn't want it going on right now because it would make it much harder to use those people, which you probably don't have optimized.
But there was a Storm Blitz going on when it
there was
out.
A Storm Blitz going on.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the Spider-Man one because that was in the chunk of it, right?
Well, no, I mean they dropped it last Friday. It was a day after the Storm event launched. So I mean, you got one extra. You got 1 day. You got one more day of Spider-Man than you got of Storm.
Yeah,
you actually missed the best part of the Storm because you didn't get to do the climb with those low end teams.
Well, so you had the Blitz or the Assault Orb, and then you had the Spider-Man. So the majority of the time, it was stuff where basically you could just sit in the shallow end and get easy teams to play against your probably lower level people that we needed.
So what you're telling me that it's okay to design a game system where
no, don't mistake what I'm saying here.
Okay.
I'm saying that for what it was, assuming that it didn't change. I'm not saying that was a good system to play it in. I'm just saying that at least in that situation, it was lucky that we had a Spider-Man and an Orb Assault taking up most of the time, because it made it easier to use those teams, because a lot of people probably didn't try nearly as hard to go up to the higher tiers, or didn't feel like they needed to go up to the higher tiers because they didn't need to farm those champions. That's all. Not saying that this was a good thing, that a good system that they used. It obviously needs tweaking.
Right.
Anyways,
and hopefully they will.
On.
So we'll see what they wind up doing. So I think we've kind of beat this one to death. So we're gonna go ahead and move on, and we're gonna move into our Patron of the Week segment. And so since we actually have Assassin with us, he is our Patron of the Week as well. And so I specifically asked him not to tell me prior to recording what his segment / question was going to be about, and that he could kind of drop it on us in a surprise. So, Assassin, what is your segment for the Patron of the Week?
How's the alliance leveling system going in your minds?
You mean for Stark Tech?
Generally, I mean, I think this can be used up across the game modes, right? For leveling up the helicarriers, and for whenever Alliance Wars comes, right? I think that's going to be used.
Hebrew, you want to take that one first?
Well, I mean, I like the system so far. I think that this was actually one of the best things that they did as quickly as they did it. Like, I remember whenever there was, I think, about 2 weeks, maybe it was a little more, that we kind of knew what was going on a little bit more, and it wasn't just some weird, mysterious thing in the background. We started to get a little more detail, and in the realm of 2 weeks, I think it was released from that point. And I was pleasantly surprised at the outcome. Everyone thought it was going to be some terrible thing, and everyone was freaking out because they thought it was going to be similar to Mod, if I remember correctly, on Star Wars. And that's not the case. I haven't heard anyone complain about it. It seems to work very well. I myself don't have a problem with it. It seems like everyone's passively getting a lot of experience. We didn't have to pay in a lot of gold. That's another thing people were freaking out about. So yeah, I thought that was one of the most expertly implemented systems that they've done so far, especially in a short amount of time. I actually would have pegged that as one of the things that they would have screwed up the most, but they did really well. So hopefully that will translate very well going into all the other things that they want to do that will supposedly use it, like the helicraft carrier that Assassin was mentioning, and things like that we've seen in the Datamine, or the OG Datamine. So yeah,
I would say that I agree with you on that one. I think that it was well implemented. I like how they've done what they've done. There's only one small point of contention that I've had with it, and it's the fact that the amount of points that you can generate doesn't change as you level up. So, like right now, we are sitting at my alliance is currently sitting at level 22. No, 24. I'm sorry. We're sitting at level 24, and we need 5,000 experience to get to the next level. And so everything's kind of locked until you get to 26. And I just feel like maybe there's a way to change it so that the ability of generating XP can maybe grow with you as well. Am I making any sense at all?
Yep.
That as you rank up, I mean, obviously things should get harder the more powerful you get. I agree with that 100%, but the rewards should not stay the same. And so the rewards are kind of staying the same, but it's getting harder and harder to do things. And that's unfortunately a system we've seen in this game, kind of stay the same.
Right. No, I'd agree with that.
So other than that, I love the system. Like I love Stark Tech. I think that it's a great value. I can't wait to see how my collection power jumps when they actually fix the display for that and how it's applied. Because I'm actually sitting at like 950,000 collection power right now. So the closer I can get to 1 million, I'll be very happy. And I actually have Tech and Bio both maxed out, and I'm just saving tickets now for when we hit 26 so that I can immediately max them out again.
Right.
Yeah, I think that I was really impressed with how they laid this out as well. It was done really well. Another thing I really like are the alliance leaderboards. You can see both your daily and lifetime tickets, so you can really keep on. And so yeah, that's done really well. If the only perhaps little gripe is perhaps actually you're allowed to level up too quickly, because I'm stockpiling tons of Stark Tech, and I have 3 teams maxed out right now, and I could probably max out. So it seems like basically as it takes longer to level up, I'm just going to have all my teams at just max level, at the max abilities. Looking at how long it takes to change each level. So it seems like everyone's going to be at plus 20% by the time we get up to whatever level 60, which seems like it isn't quite their design, just having all your players with plus 20% on all their stats.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like it makes you make any choices, right? There's no strategy there.
Yeah, there's not too much of a strategy. It's more of a blanket.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everyone gets. Which.
Yeah. So did you like this or no? At the end of the day,
I like it. I like it. It seems like they may need a little tweaking for the for how cheap it is. It seems like the price point is actually too cheap. Which is a strange thing to say in Vox Next.
Yeah, I think.
How many teams do you have? How many of the different origins do you have maxed out?
Let me go ahead and roll to it real quick.
Well, I have 2, so I've got Text and Bio both completely maxed out at rank 24, and I'm sitting on 1,300 tickets. And I did work on some Mystic for Thanos, but pretty much just his health and armor.
So yeah, I have Bio, Skill, and Mystic maxed out, and I have 2,200 tickets. And they're plus 7%.
What level are you at?
23.
And you have Bio, Mystic,
Wait,
and
you
Skill
have Bio, Mystic, and Tech?
I haven't done Mystic armor.
Okay.
Well, if you run Thanos, you want that armor.
Yeah, but compared to the rest of them, he has enough health. That just seems like a waste.
You want to base it on the stats of if you have more tanks on whatever.
I haven't done skills focus because only operative uses.
Yeah.
So I've been a little bit selective.
Well,
yeah,
I
think
that makes a big difference. So, you said you had them all maxed out, but you're not doing all of them.
For the things that matter.
I think what matters is subjective to what characters you're using in that.
I think that you can just say that you don't need as much focus for the skill characters, right? And the Mystic have pretty crap armor by and large. So
that's what I'm saying. You look at the teams that you have for that subsect, or you look at the characters that you have for that subsect. You look at what they need the most of, or based on which is usually what their biggest stat is, and then you coordinate it with what you upgrade. So if you have a team of all tanks, then you want to increase the armor, more so than the damage or anything like that. Or sorry, not a team of those things, but if a certain subsect, and health, So if you have a certain subsect like Mystic, let's say, and most of your characters that you have leveled up on there are tanks, then you'd want to level up the tank stats more so than anything else. So I think
if they don't have much base armor, Thanos's base armor I didn't think was that great even. It's 2,600, so it's nothing.
Yeah, that's true. But all right, so that's true. There are a few outliers there, but generally,
and then all Mystic is that way. They have no armor. That's the one common theme about them. So adding a percentage onto armor.
I'm using this as more as an example. You can apply it to any of them. The Mystic was just one that I said, but regardless, so I think that there is a level of customization there that you can base off of what you have in that particular subsect.
I don't think it's what you have. I think it's what the characters are. I think Mystic.
Well, as far as how many
armor character.
Well, the characters.
I don't think they don't exist.
What? The characters?
I don't think that there aren't Mystic characters with a lot.
Sorry, you cut out there real quick.
Oh, sorry. I don't think there are any Mystic characters with a lot of armor.
No. You're misunderstanding me. That's what I was saying was just an example that I threw out. What I'm saying is,
It's like there aren't a lot of skill characters with a lot of that need a lot of focus.
Okay, hold on. Just so I'm saying that everyone in a subsect that you have, you look at what characters you have available in that subsect to you. You look at what their highest stat is, or that's most useful to that pool of characters that you have. So if you have a group that is mostly tanks on whatever subsect, and you look at their stats and you say, hey, I need health on all of these characters, right? Most of the characters in this subsect need health. Then you upgrade your health stat. You're going to need that more than you do for damage, let's say. I wasn't saying specifically just for Mystic. That was just an example I threw out. But so I'm saying, anyways, that's the point of customization I think that you can get to. It's not great customization. It's not super intricate, but it's something.
Yeah, and I think in a couple months there'll just be enough left over to just have every one of these up. And
yeah, I think that at some point, I mean, yeah, it's not going to take terribly long to be able to get everything up. Yeah.
I think it's going to be it'll be interesting to see what they wind up.
I think these points will be applicable to other things, though. That's just me, but I think that these points are going to end up with something else.
You mean the Stark Tech tickets or the health points, or there'll be some other way to level up?
The Stark Tech tickets, or the Alliance credits.
Yeah, whatever they're called.
Yeah, whatever they're called. I think that those resources are going to be applicable to other things that they release later on down the road.
Yep.
But yeah.
So
I don't know. Dorian, did you already answer on that one or no?
Yeah, I think I think that there will be something coming soon, not soon, TM, on this, that we'll see where they're going to go after that and what they're going to wind up doing. It's when you stay focused, like staying focused on like one area, then that's going to obviously allow you to accumulate more tickets to be able to put into other stuff. I've been doing everything for the bio and the tech, and that's basically because I just even a 1% boost is a 1% boost, right? So even if, like, for Thanos and Mystic, I had been upgrading the armor. He's sitting around 2700 armor right now, and that, while it's not the best, it's better than nothing. And I just have the ticket sitting here, so it's not like they gain interest. It's not like by letting them sit here, I'm going to get a return on that investment. They're not doing anything.
Talk to Chewy about that. He has 12,000.
Well, Chewy does Chewy, but he's focused completely on Fury, right? And that makes sense. If he ran other teams, I would tell him, "Hey, Chewy, you need to spend on these other teams that you run." But you're focused almost entirely. He is focused almost entirely on Fury, so he doesn't need to spend really elsewhere. So, I think saving is good to an extent. Like I said, I'm saving, but that's just because I run these two teams, and I don't need to spend them elsewhere. So I'm saving for when the next level comes.
Yeah,
and I'm sure Chewy's doing the same thing. But I think 12,000 will probably take like the skill all the way to the max once they hit 60. So.
Yeah, I think that it's not a bad idea to save it all, especially for people that do have a totally dominant team like Fury, or even the Defenders or something like that. Granted, they're thrown across 2 or 3 tiers, or 2 or 3 subsects rather, traits, whatever. But yeah, I think that saving up is not a terrible idea at all. I was doing that for the most part for a while, still am, but I've invested mostly on bio, but I have a lot left over that I'm waiting to throw potentially in on mutants if I get Magneto, if I get my mutant team. So I'm going to throw down a whole bunch on them. So I'm kind of doing the same. I'm saving up to see what happens.
Crap! I have to go all in on Mystic. I didn't even think about that. You just pointed out something that I didn't even think about.
Damn straight.
Iron Fist. I wasn't even thinking. For some reason, I was thinking Iron Fist was bio, but no, he's Mystic. Great. Mm-hmm. Now I gotta go in all in on Mystic. All right then. I know Dorian's doing later.
Yep.
I don't know why that never dawned on me. Why that never dawned on me.
Yeah.
Because I knew he was
That's the
missing.
unfortunate thing.
Yeah,
that's what's so nice about Fury is that it's all in one.
Right. And I mean, look, 4 defenders are bio. So JJ, Daredevil. Wait.
Yeah, it's just Punisher and Iron Fist
Luke.
that you have.
Oh my God, I forgot Luke.
Yeah.
Mark that one down in your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. You know, 3 of the 4 defenders are bio. Punisher's tech, and then Iron Fist is Mystic. No, and Miss Marvel is also bio. So.
Oh yeah, I haven't even looked at Miss Marvel yet for me. So yeah, but she's in that bio tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. Now I gotta pump into Mystic too. So. Okay. Oh well, not a big deal. It doesn't bother me at all.
All right, next question.
Actually, what we're going to do now is we are going to get into our gift bag. And so since we're at the Patron of the Week, I figured we might as well go ahead and do the Patron gift bag. So, Hebrew, can you go to random.org for me, please?
Yes, I can. Okay.
All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the true number random generator, and the minimum is going to be 1, and the max is going to be 17.
17. All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right. And the number is 12.
Okay. All right. I will be reaching out. I forget. I don't have the patron information actively here.
Anticlimactic.
It is very anticlimactic. 12, I may have the I gotta get the patron information for this, but I don't remember. I don't remember this person's the person's Discord
number 12.
Number
you 12. Just won. Congratulations. Anyways, we'll hit you up on Discord afterwards once we figure out who it is. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I apologize because I try to be respectful and not give out people's personal names at all. I will, however, say if your last name is a dead president, then contact us.
Buchanan.
It could very well be.
All right. So congratulations to you, Mr.
Eisenhower.
Patreon. Yeah, we really appreciate it, and we're glad to give you this. Lucky number 12. Okay. So I guess let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We don't want to keep everyone here forever.
Yeah, no. So now we're going to move into our character spotlight. And wait, I'm sorry, I completely skipped the grab bag. And actually, we got a couple of good questions this week. So,
are you saying all the other ones that we've had are bad?
No, I'm saying we got a couple of good ones this week. There is no comparison. I'm just saying we got good ones this week.
All right. Good.
Really? Let's go down this road, shall we? All right.
Gotcha.
So, Ed Carden is the first the first question we're gonna look at, and he asks, "Let's talk synergies." Mobile Gamer recently put out a video where he put forth the opinion that synergies might be ruining the game, in that it's become more advantageous to run set squads as opposed to trying different combinations of characters in theory crafting. How do you feel about this idea? And
I want to step in on this one.
Are synergies ruining the game? So, Assassin, why don't you go first? What do you think of synergies?
I've actually thought this for a long time, and one of the things I really loved about the game was the sort of mix and match nature of it. That there was like such a huge set of possibilities to choose teams from, and there was kind of like, little weird things you could find out that could like make your team kind of really shine. Like the fact that Punisher and Crossbones had nearly the same speed, like give you like this double AOE, and that stuff is irrelevant now compared to the synergies, right? Like the synergies just wipe everything off the board. The Fury team is 50% stronger than a normal, like reasonably good A team that people had. The defenders are plus 30% over a normal run of the mill A team. So I think that this is just like decrease the sort of theory crafting and getting a good squad together. And you've seen this even with like casinos, like sure to win teams. He went from these like crazy Venn diagrams down to just having 8 set squads, because those are one of essentially the permutations that work with the synergies that exist. And so I think it's decreased the creativity of the game.
Yeah, I would agree. I'll go ahead and hop in real quick on this one. Unless, Dorian, do you have something that you want to add to that?
Not specifically add to that. I did want to say that I did figure out who the user was. So,
Okay.
Urbane, congratulations. You won the $10 gift card.
Hey.
Just contact us. Send me a DM. Let me know if you want Apple or Google Play Store, and we'll work on getting that gift card out to you as soon as possible. So, sorry to break that up. I just happened to look at the Discord page and saw that the Discord information, or the Patron page, and saw that Discord information was there, not in my download. So there it is.
All right.
No, yeah, please, if you'd like to talk on this, and then I'll add in my 2 cents.
Yeah, so with the synergies, yeah, I think that it's becoming a problem just because we're seeing all of these ridiculously strong, dominant teams just because they're all part of one synergistic group, and we're going to see Kree added to that pretty soon. And yeah, so it's a problem. I think that, and I've always preached this since the beginning. I like synergy between like 2 characters. So that in a team. So if you have a team of 5, you maybe have, one that has kind of an AoE buff to the team, and then you have the other 2 that have like a special move with another person. And by doing that, you give the ability to piece them out into other teams and still have some kind of buff with each other. So you kind of see that with Punisher and Daredevil, for instance, and Captain America and Thor. So yeah, you see kind of things like that, and I wish that they would focus on stronger synergy, that type of thing. That way, yeah, we can the mix and match style that Assassin was talking about, because that I think is the fun of the game. Just running straight up team comps gets boring, and I mean, not super boring, but it takes some of the enjoyment out of finding those crazy comps that somehow work. So yeah, and exactly as Assassin pointed out as well, you definitely can see that with those casino videos where he used to have these elaborate Venn diagrams, and yeah, now it's been reduced to very, very boring, just a couple of sets of teams. So yeah, so I fully agree.
The one good news about that is that it's very easy to do roster reviews, because you just match both rosters up to those set squads. So it's made my life a lot easier. Roster review for my life.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the middle of the road on this one, right? Because sometimes you need these synergy teams.
You're a purist. You're a purist.
I'm not so much a purist as such as that
Luke Cage is good now. No.
Luke Cage was always okay.
Okay. Let's not.
All right. I said he was always okay because he was never a top tier tank. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now that I'm right, I'm okay. Anyway, my thing with the synergies is obviously you want some teams to have that synergy. Like you want the Avengers to have that synergy. You want the Defenders. You want your teams to have synergy, but you also want the ability to mix and match with others. And I think that we see some of that, which is really, really good, specifically with like Miss Marvel and her blanket city heroes, right? Or city brawlers. Or not city brawlers, but hero brawlers. You get my point, that she works well with different team comps. So she works great with Defenders because they're all city heroes, but then she also works with, Black Panther and Spider-Man and this mix and match type of team. I think those exist. The problem is we don't have as big of a roster pool to pull from. And so when you have these really dominant synergistic teams like Fury, like the Brotherhood, like the Defenders, soon to possibly be the Kree, you wind up having where it seems to be overwhelmingly this majority. But when I look at my arena, I'm not seeing these synergistic teams. I'm seeing the mix and matches still. I'm seeing a lot of that.
Oh, I'm seeing defenders everywhere now that people have had time to level them up. I'm seeing Fury.
You're seeing defenders on defense?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't run them on defense because they don't hold up well on defense. So they're just not a thing. For me, at least, I have not found a good comp for them that works well on defense. Fat Hunting Badger says that he sees Fury everywhere in Arena. Well, Fat Hunting Badger and I are in the same Arena shard, and we're beta players, right? And we've got a lot of whales, and we are starting to see more Fury because it is such a dominant team. Not, unfortunately, where I'm at, because I'm still in the 300s, so I'm working my way up. But I think that the synergy isn't going to kill the game. I think that we've hit kind of this road bump, right? This speed bump on what they want. And I'm interested to see where we're going to go after we get Magneto, because that's going to be the last that, we know we're getting a synergistic team with the Brotherhood till then. So I'm interested to see what's going to wind up happening after that. Avenue?
Yeah. I think that they're doubling down on that. We're going to get 2 more synergistic teams with the Kree and the Brotherhood, and so now they're going to be like 10 teams, and you'll put your time and effort into farming those up. But it seemed like it was more creative back during the summer when you were trying to figure out like how all these pieces fit together, and it seems like they've just like this power creep that's come to the game from the synergies has kind of sapped some of the creativity away because there isn't this permutational complexity at constructing a team now.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to give it another 6 months before I really go, hey, because I don't think there's a burning fire in the game. It's just that they're changing some of the way they work, some of the ways they work together. They're already designed to work together.
Synergistic. Yeah.
They were already designed to work together, just not very well. That's the thing. Teams. Nobody complains about the Avengers, and the Avengers were a thing from day one. So I'm sorry, I don't see it as a truly valid argument, because the Avengers dominated early game, and they were a thing from day one. So I don't know. I don't see it as being as big of a deal, but then also I see how a lot of these things work from, like Galaxy of Heroes, where you have some synergistic teams like Jedi or Sith, and then you have some of your weird team comps. But synergistic teams typically are designed to work better. The problem is we just don't have enough characters to make enough teams. Are you wanting to see 20 teams in the meta? Are you wanting to see 20 different teams in the arena?
No, I'd like to see 75 choose 5 teams, which is a lot more than that. Right now, you can just look to see where the synergies lie, and you're just not a lot of creativity there. As much,
but that's not how these types of things go, especially when you have arena, because you find these teams that work together, and that's what's there, right? And all they've done now, this what they have
but
really
it's
done
spelled
is said,
out
hey,
in
there's
the,
a team
the
that will
line,
tell you,
right? I mean, so you can just read off. It isn't like you're like trying to like uncover like game mechanics, right? It's like you just read the descriptions. Okay, for this character, I need these characters here, and then you go off and you farm them, and you hit auto 12 times per day, and a couple weeks later, and you've leveled up your tunes.
But that's how these games work. So I don't see it I don't see it as killing the game. I do think the Fury put a big problem into it because Fury was so overpowered that it just cakewalks through every game mode, and I think that's where the problem lies. Is that one specific team was so synergistically overpowered that now that every other synergistic team has to either come to or beat that power level. And that's where the problem lies. It's not with the synergies themselves. It's with that specific team comp and the fact that they were synergistic. Because we've had synergistic teams in the game prior to them. They just raised the bar with that one team.
Yeah, and they were like plus 20%, power was my estimate. Like if you got a good, like the Avengers team was plus 20% over, like sort of throwing 5 good tunes together that worked all right together. Like getting Black Widow, Captain America, Hawkeye, Iron Man combo.
Well, I would say they were more than all right. I mean, they specifically targeted other Avengers with their descriptions. So
yeah,
but
yeah, I
anyway.
mean and now like the Defenders are, I think, better than them from my estimation, and Fury blows them both out of the water as I'm farming up both these teams right now.
Yeah.
So I actually think that the Avengers was actually a good example of how synergy teams should be made, in as far as within the context of this game, because it gave them a nice bonus. You could piece them out a little bit, and they were all very good on their own. And you're right, with Fury, that was the biggest problem, was that they just made them incredibly broken. And now we're having power creep with all of these synergy teams, with Defenders, we saw it, and we're going to see it with Kree too. So yeah, I mean, it just looks like all of these minion teams, because they aren't really useful on their own, which I don't think that they should be nearly as useful on their own as opposed to, named characters, but they also shouldn't be broken above anything else with just one named character just because they're on a team. So I think, yeah, anything like that, any kind of team up synergy should be brought down to a level where you have an advantage, but it's not broken.
Yeah, and that was specific, exactly what I was saying with the Fury team.
Yeah, I agree.
That. So
yes, the Fury team was just stupid as far as how they obviously did not think that through. I mean, They have even said in Dark Dimension, they never expected them to do that well. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Did you play it once?
Right.
Because if you literally would have rolled in there once with the Fury team, you cruised right through it. So
but it takes you half an hour to beat a node. So
yeah, I mean, it's just
they can't spend all day playing.
I think one of them should probably.
I think they should should have said, "Oh, hey, here's the most popular team, most talked about team. Let's try them."
They got too bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, let's move on. So, is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about with synergies?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Great question. Yeah.
That was an absolutely awesome question.
Oh, yeah.
And our next one comes from Urbane Raven, who asks another really good question. Currently, it takes 810 shards to take a character to max star level. If you could reduce the number of total shards, what would it be? Hebrew, what do you think is a fair total number of shards?
100.
to go from 0 to 7?
Yep. No. Obviously, that's a joke. I think that it. All right, this is tough to answer.
I would keeping the drop rate the same is the question, like at this 25% drop rate.
Sure.
Yeah,
let's do that.
So I think that honestly, if they had another, what's the starting one is? What do you need to get 1 star?
15.
15 for 1 star. It's like 45 for 2.
So maybe just lower the drop and maybe make the drop, lower the amount on each one by a bit, and then have basically the last one be 200 worth. So you're basically going to end up cutting off about 100 shards or so from the total. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, I worded that oddly. I am aware. But basically, I would take off about 100, maybe 200 shards from the total amount that you would need to level up someone from 1 to 7 stars.
Okay. So you're saying somewhere in the 600 to 700 range?
Yeah.
Okay. Assassin, what about you? What do you think is a fair number of total shards?
So, for me, like the 810 shards, like for Blitz, is fine. Right? I mean that's a perfectly reasonable farm. Even for Arena, that's okay. It's obviously slower, but it's like when you have to farm them on nodes, that's when it's ridiculous. So I think they actually need to increase the drop rate of shards from maybe like a 25% drop rate to like maybe a 33% drop rate, or maybe make it a three shard drop rather than a 2 shard drop. And just to speed up the farm if you're farming on nodes, and because like it's not too hard to get your Crossbones, your Quake, your Spidey all up to 7 stars in 6 months, right?
Oh, yeah, even quick. Yeah, sometimes even quicker.
Yeah. And then to get a couple of your arena characters up as well. Raid is pretty slow and comes out of doing shards there because that's where you get a lot of gear. So like raid shards are kind of a difficult, really a Faustian choice there. But then like it just seems like the drop rate on the nodes is just a bit too low. So if you just like made it 3 or gave it some variation, so maybe there's a 1, 2, and 5 drop on the nodes, so you're getting maybe 3 on average. A double RNG they seem to, and then I'd be happy with that. Just to we know how long it takes to get up someone with 1 node like Iron Fist.
Oh yeah, I'm currently farming Jessica Jones, Punisher, and Iron Fist. All to get to
I am
7.
as well.
And that is a nightmare farm. It is absolutely horrible. So I personally think that because we do have Blitz and because we do have these campaign events and things of that nature, that 810 may not be a super far stretch. The problem is that number one, Blitz runs way too long. We need to have more free. I'm gonna regret saying this because I hate Blitz, but I think that 3 to 4 day blitzes are way too long. They need to be 24 to 48 hours, and that way we can get more characters into that farming rhythm. But we definitely need to do something with the nodes themselves. I think that those have to be adjusted in some way, because I just want to die when I think that my Iron Fist is only 4 stars and I've still got 500 shards I have to farm, and I hit that 2 to 3 times a day.
That's 1,000 times you have to hit it, so that's gonna be 100 days.
Yeah, and
so
it's just
I'm gonna retcon mine real quick. I'm gonna retcon mine. So I'm going to take a play out of the Marvel Handbook. So I'm going to say that I think that it should be dropped to 100 shards in the total and just taper off the difference for each star tier. And then the drop rate should be increased on the nodes because, yes, the drop rate on nodes are fucking terrible and I hate them. So
well, it wouldn't take. You'd be done with all the farm in a month.
Bring it on.
You can't do 100. I mean, like even Star Wars has.
No, wait. What are you talking about? Do 100?
You said drop it to 100.
No. Drop 100 shards off the total.
Oh, so drop it
sorry.
to 7. Okay.
Yeah.
It
I guess
sounded
if you guys both heard it that way, then I probably just misspoke. I'm saying take 100 off the total, not 100, not 100 shards variant. But yeah, take 100 off the top.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even have a problem if it was, 100 per star level.
Oh, you mean just a flat 100 each star?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Do it to get 100 shards, get a star.
Well, then, if that was the case, they would have to. I think that they would have to do the increase in power to be steady each time, not a exponential increase in power each time.
I think it's actually just proportional to the number of shards. I mean, it's roughly the amount of power you get. So
yeah.
They
would definitely have to.
So you get like
each star, you get more as you go up. You get more power.
And I think it's just proportional. Like, so you get you need 300 out of the 810 shards. So you get like what is that? Kind of the benefit by the last star.
I don't remember exactly, but I don't want to beat this one too much. So I think we're all agreed they definitely need to do something with the shards, but more importantly, they need to do something with the drop rates.
Yeah, I think that actually is the more important thing, is the drop rate. I think Assassin hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. So now we're going to go ahead.
Oh my God, he agreed.
Now we're going to go ahead and move into our character spotlight. And so this week we are going to talk about the $4,000 man himself, Sabretooth.
Oh boy.
So Sabretooth's real name is Victor
64,000.
Yeah. So Sabretooth's real name is Victor Creed. I'm going to give you some of his base stats here. Now, these are all from msf.gg at max level. So his health will be 88,500. His damage will be 5,700. His armor will be 2,000. His focus will be 1,350. And his resistance will be 1,138. So he'll be a rather tanky character, but at the same time, he'll be able to put out some good damage. So some lore here. When Victor's mutation first manifested, he accidentally killed his brother over a piece of pie. His father confined him to a cellar and would systematically pull out Victor's devil teeth in an attempt to purge the boy of his demons. Victor was chained like an animal in the family cellar for years until one day he chewed off his own hand in order to break free and subsequently murdered his father. Although he would later claim to have killed his mother, he actually spared her and made sure she lived a comfortable life until she was diagnosed with cancer and confined to a hospital where she was killed by a member of the Red Right Hand. Freed from his parents, Victor was released upon society. He first appeared in Iron Fist number 14, August 1977. So he's been around a while and wasn't even in a mutant book at first. So his kit, Claw Rake. Claw Rake will attack primary target for 340% damage, doing around 20,000 before crit. Thrash will attack primary target for 460% damage for around 26,000 damage. If the target has taunt, it'll deal an additional 80% piercing damage, which is around 4,500. He will attack all adjacent targets for 320% damage, and the attack cannot be blocked. And I'm not going to read off the damage numbers. That's just a little too much. They're in the show notes if you're interested. Blood Rush is his ultimate. Blood Rush will attack primary target for 380% damage plus apply bleed for 2 turns. It'll chain to 4 to 5 targets for 330% damage and apply bleed for 2 turns. Counterattacks will break the chain, but if Magneto is an ally, cannot be countered. And his unique is Feral Healing. He will gain plus 5% damage per Brotherhood. On turn, he will heal for 15% of his max health. And when his health drops below 50%, he'll gain Death Proof. So obviously some strategies for him is Magneto. You're going to run him with Magneto, and you're going to run him with Brotherhood. But outside of that, I actually think that he could work in a Scarlet Witch debuff team. So Venom, Vision, Mordo, and Sabretooth actually would work well
show your work.
Those debuffs going around.
Yeah.
Did you say true. Show your work?
Show your work. Yep.
What do you guys think?
Assassin should appreciate that one.
Right? Yeah. What do you guys think of his kit here? I mean, I know people are saying that he's Wolverine but better.
Yeah, it's almost identical.
Honestly, he's what Wolverine should have been. Is how I see it. I wish basically that he just had this kit instead, because I don't care about Sabretooth as much as Wolverine. That being said, first of all, I want to say, just because I always do this, but it's so true. Great job on the character model. Fantastic. Love it. Looks amazing.
I think this is kind of one of their low res models. I thought they actually kind of flipped this one a little bit. Looks like it was rushed to me.
Really? I think it looks cool as
goodness. Cool as goodness.
Yeah. I thought he looks
cool as a day in church. Yeah, I thought that it doesn't look like it has as high a res as some of the other ones. Like Venom looks better, and Wolverine does too. Anyways,
I don't see it. Maybe I just have a layman's eye. I don't know. But yeah, I think it looks good, and I think as far as his kit goes, I wish that Wolverine had this kit. It's pretty much like what Wolverine should have been in my eyes. I think that overall it's going to work really well with Magneto, and the fact that he pulls everyone together. That'll work well with his Thrash, I believe, was the one for adjacent targets.
Yes,
things like that, and lots of bleeds, so that'll be really nice. And then you get a big damage boost if you have him with the Brotherhood team, which is also very nice. So yeah, overall really good. I think he's going to be good, with very good in a Brotherhood team, obviously, and then I think he's going to be just pretty good outside of it. Nothing spectacular though.
Yeah, he's faster than Wolverine. He's 101 speed, so pretty average, but versus Wolverine's 95. So that will help him quite a bit.
And I'm not sure if Dorian, I guess you would know this. I don't know if you know a lot about the lore for Marvel Assassin, but did we ever come up with a definitive answer on if his healing in the comics is greater than Wolverine's?
No, they're basically identical.
Okay,
is what I was reading, and that even with the adamantium, the healing level was right around the same. Because there was a point in time where Sabretooth had adamantium applied to his skeleton as well. And then Apocalypse took it out during a fight when he was trying to figure out who was going to be one of the four horsemen. And then Sabretooth worked with Gambit, maybe, to get the adamantium back. So, and in reading up on all that, I believe they basically said that the healing factor was just about the same.
Okay. One thing real quick, sorry. I think this is incorrect. If you read it off of MSFGG, right?
Correct.
Yep.
For feral healing, it should go up to 30% of the character's max health on turn, I believe. If I'm reading through it on the game right now, and it's 5, 10, 15. As far as so it goes 5 for level 2, then you get an extra 10. Oh, never mind. You know what? I'm stupid.
It's 15. It's absolutely. They don't do.
Yeah,
they don't do pluses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's not pluses, unfortunately, that would be nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So a couple of things, Wolverine, when he's maxed out, has a 20% crit chance versus Sabretooth's 10%. So that'll be a bit different. And then Sabretooth's damage is 1,000 less when maxed out than Wolverine. So that's
the problem is that Sabretooth applies his bleed no matter what. Focus resistance obviously applies, but Wolverine is all crit based. So if Wolverine doesn't crit, he's not applying those bleeds.
Yep.
Right.
But the crit damage is awfully nice, right?
Right.
That's true.
That's true.
Anyways, those are some of the differences that just pop out.
Also, Wolverine is only 5'3", and Sabretooth is 6'3". So
Oh, yeah, we found that out the other day. That's crazy.
Oh, excuse me. Hiccups.
Was that you?
That was me. I hiccuped.
I thought you just kicked a dog or something.
No, I drank some water too quickly, and so
Okay.
I hiccuped a little bit. So, so do you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about for Sabretooth, other than the $4,000 man?
Where would you guys place him on like a on a tier list? Alone and with Brotherhood.
Actually,
Alone,
I think
he's like a mid-tier. He's a mid-tier named character.
yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that he goes up. Actually, the thing with so he gains 5% per Brotherhood, so he'll gain like 20% damage unless he counts himself, in which case it would be 25% damage if you run him on a full.
Usually they don't.
Yeah, they
count
don't count themselves.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I've seen various statistics where sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So if it says other, then it doesn't apply. If it doesn't say other, it does apply. But I know that's how it works in Star Wars.
So that will bring him up to Wolverine's damage.
So it'll definitely bring him up into a much better level playing him with Brotherhood. So I would probably bring him up a tier. But like I said, I also think that he'll work really well with like this debuff team. If he's applying these bleeds and he's applying it to adjacent targets, that's big. I mean, that's like Venom level big. So I mean, you can get people dropping like flies on the before they even take a turn if you get enough bleeds going.
Yeah. No,
yeah, it seems like Venom level, which is like,
yeah.
I mean, worth having.
Venom level, but with synergy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well,
because on his own I would put him at like Venom level, and then with Brotherhood, obviously, I think I'd bump him up a tier.
I mean, look, if you're gonna go in on Brotherhood, you're gonna go all.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, should we?
Yeah.
I don't think he's doing Brotherhood.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But we'll see. I think I might be the one that comes up with a Brotherhood team out of this. We'll see.
So
we'll see what my wallet's feeling.
With all that being said, I think we need to get into our most important segment of the night and the thing that everybody's been waiting around for, and that's the Who You Farmin'. So, Assassin, who are you farming right now?
It's a pretty boring farm right now. It's Nick Fury and his, as well as the Defenders, bringing both those up. They're both raid viable now, so just farming every day, mostly gear for Fury and mostly shards for the Defenders.
Very nice.
And I'm one piece away from a tier 10 Miss Marvel. And I've been sitting there for multiple weeks. And just like accumulating, and then somehow like I spend it accidentally because I can't lock the damn gear down.
Yeah, I know how you feel on that one. Hebrew, how about you? Who you farming?
So for me, I am farming Mystique, of course, and then I'm farming Kree because I'm trying to get all my Kree up to 6-star, so I can get a Fury, and not only a Fury but a 6-star Fury. And then I'm going to be going for Shield. After that, I've kind of been every once in a while kind of passively farming Shield. Obviously, I'm picking up out of the store for what you call it, Shield security, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm going for him. But yeah, so basically just Kree, Shield, and Mystique for right now, and then whenever we have Brotherhood characters coming out on events and whatnot in the future, I'm going to be going super hard on them. So
yeah, those will be nice when they come out in January. So
yeah. What about you?
So it's Defenders. It's really kind of been Defenders all the time. Working on gear right now. I have Daredevil like one piece away from tier 11, which is really, really nice for him. I want to get them all up so that I can get them into the Dark Dimension. Other than that, I've been putting some time into Mystique as well. Not a whole lot, but every once in a while, if I kind of remember to do it. other than that, not much is going on. I've finally reached a point where I have everybody that I'm happy with. I had been farming Ant-Man out of the arena store, or not the arena store, out of the Blitz store, but I kind of was like, man, I really only use him for Blitz. So I have shifted over completely to the Blitz orb at this point, and that's all I do. So yeah, it's really just the defenders for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good farm, that's for sure.
But it is. It's just it takes so much because Punisher and Iron Fist are both single node farms.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of breaks your heart every day.
Yeah, it can be a slow grind for those two. That's for sure. But tis what it is.
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking at the next 3 months of my life farming that Iron Fist.
Are you?
Yours is also tier 4, right?
Yep, I'm 93 out of 130. So, and then my JJ is only just crossed into 5 stars.
Yeah, she's really nice at 6. She's one of my better in Dark Dimension. She's on my big damage squad. Because she does so much she feeds that energy to everybody.
Yeah. No,
so it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah. No, I agree. She's very nice. The whole defender team, they did a really good job with the rework.
Yeah. I felt that they didn't make them too overpowered, but they didn't leave them they didn't really leave you wanting a whole lot more. I was a little disappointed by some of the upgrades. But having played with them now for so long, they're not it works better than I had thought it was going to.
I think that they are a little bit too strong, but I think that's kind of going back to what we talked about with team synergy before. I think that they obviously aren't at the Fury level, but and also I will say I think it would make more sense that they would be more powerful than Fury if that was the case, just because you have 5 named heroes versus 1 hero and a couple of people that work for him. So yeah, I would say that would at least make sense. But regardless, they did a really good job and it feels really good. That's what's one of the most important things to me, the fun factor of it. And I think that the Defenders has the most or the biggest fun factor in the game as of right now. Granted, I haven't played Fury myself, so I don't know. But from what I hear, it's relatively boring.
We'll have to ask Chewy that one.
Compared to Defenders. It's just
I find it boring.
It's a slow grind. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of time it's just a slow grind, it feels like.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of joy out of playing them. You're playing with minions, right? So they don't have the same type of like ultimates or specials, right? You don't get that variety.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they do an amazing job, and the passives are amazing. But
do you enjoy Defenders a lot more? Playing Defenders a lot more?
Yeah, I do enjoy the Defenders more. I honestly still enjoy, playing with Yandu, Gamora, and Yandu a lot.
Gamora, and Yandu.
That's
Thanos game. I must find this mythical Yandu.
The second Yandu, the Thanos, yes. That triumvirate. I really enjoy having him pass the energy back and forth, and looking forward to getting Rocket and Star-Lord up there.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a fun team.
I was waiting for the Rocket and Star-Lord to come into the equation.
That is a fun team. I don't run Yondu in that team. I actually run Groot, and it's one of my best Blitz teams.
Yeah.
Honestly, all these teams can win at 8-3. Then it's just a matter of how much power you can get into them and how quickly.
Right. I can hit auto on that Star-Lord team. That's how good they get. I don't care who I go up against.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that team is definitely gonna is definitely something that I encourage everybody to work towards, especially because we know, well, okay, we hope that there will be a Groot rework at some point, and he doesn't really need a lot. I think really just his heal being increased would probably make him right where he needs to be, because the damage he gives to Rocket and the death proof that he gives out to everybody. I run that team in the Ultimate 6 too, and they
his
do some
passive
work.
is pretty. I don't even remember his passive very well, but I don't remember it being particularly good at all. It's like a chance to revive, which I fucking hate that mechanic in this game.
It does seem very asymmetric between when the AI is playing versus when when I'm playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
so it also gives.
I've never had a character revive 3 times in a row, yet I've seen it happen. Many times.
Oh yeah, it happened to me earlier in a blitz fighting Wolverine. He just kept reviving, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
And people say all the time, "Well, it's because it's at a higher level than you," and I'm like, "That doesn't matter. Like, it's not. It's not. Even whenever I was at a lower level with this character, and the one that I'm playing against was at the level that my character's now at, I'm not reviving as much as that character did then. It's obviously a passive benefit from the AI,
right?
Which I agree. I mean, it makes sense that they kind of have something, because they can't function as well as we can as far as strategy is concerned.
So, all right, guys.
I don't believe that.
I don't want to get us too far
hold
off
on,
track
real quick, just to check that. I'm not talking about the potential of how it works, but I'm talking about their AI that they currently have is pretty limited.
I think that's strategic on their part, because it would really suck if you were worse than the AI. Then there'd be no point in playing. Everything would be on auto.
I mean, I don't know if I just don't know.
I see where you're getting at. It does require more strategy though at that point. But again, I think this is a great topic, perhaps for a different time. With that, I think that we're going to say goodnight for tonight, and we're going to thank Assassin for joining us. Really appreciate it, Assassin. It was great having you here. Is there anything that you'd like to say before we head out?
If you are looking for a new alliance, we have an open spot, and we'd love to have you. And if you stuck around this long, you're very dedicated.
What's the team level that you guys are looking for?
Team level, we're looking for 100 to 130K.
Okay.
So nothing. We will take obviously more, and you'll find a good home. But yeah, we take sort of this mid tier, and we'll even take it lower and allow people to farm up quickly to the 100 to 110K.
Oh, nice. That's very nice.
Yeah. So we found very loyal players that way.
Do you advertise on our Discord and our guild recruitment channel?
Yes, we do.
All right. You can find that at discord.me/Ravager Report. And we do have a guild recruitment channel there, as well as other channels where you can talk with other people. You can talk blitz strategies. You can talk raids. You can, if you become a Patreon, you can join the Patron only channels. We try to do a lot on our Discord, and it gets fun. So, again, Assassin, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it. If you like what you hear, you can or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always contact us at Gmail at theravagerreport@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at RavagerRepo. You can also join us, as I said earlier, on our Discord at discord.me/Ravager Report. That is not an invite, so do not put that into the actual Discord app. You need to go to the web itself, and it'll redirect you to the invite. We do have, if you like what you hear and you'd like to support us, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have tiers starting at $2 going all the way up to $20. We offer different things, such as the direct, you get a dedicated patron channel. You get early show note access. You get a chance to win a $10 gift card. You get a whole bunch of different things. So feel free to contact us if you have any questions, or just go to the site and join, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
And speaking as a longtime patron, I really enjoy being part of their Patreon community. It's really a pleasure to be part of it.
Yeah, and thank you, Assassin, directly for all the support you've provided. I mean, you were one of our first patrons, and if not the first, I have to go back and look. And you,
I don't
back
think I
in
was
the-
quite the first, but
I mean, you have
top
been
3, I think.
Yeah, you have been great. All our patrons have been great, and we can't express our appreciation enough. So, with that, I think we're going to say goodnight for this evening. Have I forgotten anything, Hebrew?
Nope. I think you pretty much nailed it all.
All right. Well, I'm going to say then, until next week, keep fighting, true believers.